have finished the initial setup of my supplemental reading journal, which will house some pretty fun, creative book review pages. So let's take a look at what I've done so far and let's create a few of those book review pages. What do you say? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Tracy and this is my new supplemental reading journal. This is now my third supplemental reading journal. So I call it a supplemental reading journal because I do have a year-long reading journal as well, but these are journals that house additional information that doesn't quite fit into those into my annual reading journal, and it's also going to be ongoing beyond the year. So this will keep going until it fills up. This one is going to house creative journaling spreads when I am inspired by a specific book. So every book I read will not have a spread in here. It's just going to be whenever inspiration hits, I will come in here and do a fun creative spread. It could be a 5-star read. It could be a 2-star read. Who knows? I don't even know how many I'm going to have at the end of the year. Hopefully it's a decent amount, but you never know because obviously this is definitely something a little extra. So I think time may kind of get in the way at times, but I think this is going to be fun and I'm really, really excited to jump into it. Now I have already pretty much done the initial setup. I do have to fill in some things. I will do that later, but I wanted to share that with you because I did film a video where I did the name page and kind of talked about how I was going to be using this journal. I will link that down in the description box and I highly encourage you to check it out because in that video, I did a full-on flip through of the new Fiction and Florals sticker book from Live Love Posh. Obviously, this is a reading themed sticker book, which is perfection. You don't have to have a reading journal. You don't even have to be an avid reader to appreciate the beautiful stickers in this book. There are really only a few functional stickers in here that are reading related. So you have about 4 pages of stickers back here that are specific to reading, and then you have a couple of quotes pages, but other than that, they're just really pretty decorative stickers that feature books. So this sticker book, along with this journaling card set, this is perfect for like junk journals or as I used in mine, just for fun journaling. All of this plus like 8 other items go on sale on March the 23rd, which depending upon when I can get this video up, may or may not have already happened. So with all of that said, let's quickly take a look at the setup thus far. So like I said, the first 2 pages, I did that on camera. That was part of the first video. I used stickers from the new sticker book. Yeah, it's really, really cute. And see, this is when I use those journaling cards. And this is going to be my index. And this is going to be my key. Will I use the index? I will fill it out. I don't really know that I'm going to refer to it, but you know, we'll see. You never know. You never know. I'm thinking about putting some tabs in front of some sections here, so I really won't have to use it, but I like the aesthetic of this, so we're going to say I'm going to use it. Now, I did leave a few pages blank at the beginning. I am toying with the idea of keeping like a year-by-year comparison as far as some stats go. I have to think on that more about like realistically what stats I will want to capture and things like that because I don't want this to be something that is too time consuming. So I'm going to ponder that for a little bit. I need to do a lot of trimming because I have not done that. So I did leave some pages blank up front. Then we have my 5-star reads. This is just a little header box. I call it a header box, but basically it was just like a box that I got with a stamp set. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of the shape of some books. Let me just go ahead and use that to stamp out some books. And I'm just going to write the title of the book that was 5 stars. I think like last year, I think every year thus far, it's been under 10 every year since 2023. That's when I started tracking this stuff. And this year it's been like 1. I'm still thinking about possibly like color coding it. So I might just randomly write the titles and then color coding it by year. So that way it'll be like the the colors would be more spread out instead of having all of 2023 together, 2024. So I might do that because that could be fun, because the whole point is just to highlight my 5-star reads, not really like when I read them. So I might do that, but this is really, really cute. And then I have another page in case I start reading a lot of 5 stars and I need more space. I didn't want to go ahead and do another bookshelf because I might change my mind and want to do a different design if I ever make it to these next pages. Then we come, oh, we have another page too. I get nervous. I get nervous in these journals sometimes, and I want to like keep all these extra pages. I think the reason why I kept an extra page is because I felt like page 15 was a good place to start my reading list. These are numbered pages. This is a Typhosy journal that I got off of Amazon. And I'm using it because of the numbers, because that's going to be helpful in a moment. So this is just a cover page. I created a cover page because I might want to put an actual tab here to bring me to the section. And then we're going to have my annual reading list. So I did do this by year instead of having it like a running ongoing tally. I figured I can just look at how many is at the end and just add them up. So what I did to create these pages is I went on Canva and I typed in like library card and I found an image of a library card. There was some stuff at the top and things like that. I think this is like name and library, and something was up here too. And then it had just like a quote on it. Actually, no, it was only one card. So yeah. So it had something here, like a stamp or something, and then it had a quote. So it was more like a journaling thing. Well, I deleted all of that and did my own thing. So I put like the year at the top, and then if it came onto an extra page, I just found a bookish quote. Like this one says, "A reader lives 8,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads only lives one." Now, I will say I haven't gone through this since I written this out. It is possible there are some spelling errors in here. Some may have been caused by me. Some of them may have been caused by spell check because, you know, it always like changes things on you and sometimes you're not always aware. So we'll see, but the gist of it is here. As far as how I did this, or how I'm writing things out, basically, there is no method to the madness as far as the book titles go. If it is a series, I did try to write the series at the front. So like this is Zodiac Academy, and then I did a colon, and then I wrote the first book. And then behind it in parentheses, I wrote number, like 1 of 9, number 2 of 9. Sometimes the books were so long that I could just write number 1 or number 3 or something like that. And like Finley Donovan, I think that's an ongoing series that's just never going to end. It's probably going to end up having 30 some books. So I just put question marks, like number 1 of question mark. Some of these have very, very kind of common names, or what I think is common, like Crazy House. So that one, I put the author's name. Sometimes if they were really short, I put the author's name. So like I said, there was no rhyme or reason. Basically, I wanted to be able to figure out what book it was that I read. So I try to put as much information as possible, but it still fit in the area. And then I just numbered this 1 through whatever the last book was. And then the star ratings, these are images that I got off of Canva. I should say that I did use Canva Pro. So I don't think anything that I use would be available for the free version. Then what I did is I just printed it out on printer paper, cut it out, taped it here, and then just added washi around it. So this bookshelf washi here is from Cora Korea Crafts, the thick one. You can't really see it very well because a lot of it got covered. And then I used some wrong PET tape, washi, like it's really to me like washi, but because it's on transparent tape with the backing, I think they call it PET tape. So I put that at the top just to give it a full frame. And then I used a wrong sticker there. And then here's some more wrong washi. I got like one of those washi and PET tape box sets from her, so I have quite a bit. So this is 2024, and 2024 actually went on to 3 pages because I read 70 that year. I'm not going to like, you know, I didn't want to keep them all. Like, it's not about like 2024 runs over here. I could have just decorated this and then started 2025 on the next page, but I was nervous about the space, so I'm just going to keep going. So that's why I put 2024 continue, so you know it's part of these. And then I just started with 2025 here. Again, wrong. 2025 continued, and then that ended there. And I had room for stickers. And then that is it with the cuteness of the library cards. So I was going back and forth about whether or not I would just keep 2026 kind of blank. And then at the end of the year, go in and do the same thing. But two reasons why I didn't do that. One, like I said, this requires Canva Pro. I don't keep an ongoing Canva Pro membership. I just kind of pick it up every so often. I probably will get it toward the end of the year because I have a little bit more free time. But who's to say I'm going to want to sit down and type all the books that I read out on this thing, because it wasn't that simple. Because this was pretty much an image, and then you have to add text over top of the image. So it was like spacing and sizing and things like that. It got a little complicated. And then with all adding the stars, which were images, and finding them, it took a while. During a journal setup, it doesn't feel like that, it doesn't feel like it takes as long because you're still excited about the new journal. But I don't know if I will have that same excitement at the beginning of 2027 when I have to write all the books that I read for 2026. So I figured I would just do all of this by hand. I write fairly large, like I can't write super tiny, is what I should say. So one line is not going to be, it's going to look like a hot mess. So I did 1.5. And I did 1.5 as opposed to 2 because 2 would give me 18 spaces, and it would have literally been from top to bottom. So I wouldn't have had any breathing room at the top, and just aesthetically, I like the breathing room. So I did 1.5, and I like the way it looks. Again, I just numbered here. I used stickers. Those are actual star stickers from Live Love Posh. They're tiny. I think I have more than enough to finish out for 2026. And in this space here, if I choose to do a reading review for that particular book, I will write the page number down. So that's how I know. So this is going to also serve as an index. This will probably be the index I would use the most often. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do that. I do need to fill in the rest of this, but it's fine. I'm really in no hurry. And then obviously I'm hoping I will read more than 42 books this year. So I'll have to continue this on as well. But I want to kind of get a feel for this. So I'm not even going to think about drawing more until I even get to this page. Then I left a decent amount open because I'm thinking this will get me through another 3 or 4 years, maybe to 30. And I decided I kind of want to also keep track of the books that I did not finish and I don't plan to finish. So these are stencils that I got that are supposed to be like this, like because the 5 is there, so I'm supposed to be like this. But I was like, oh, they make cute tombstones. So I just drew them out. Now, it's probably going to be very, very hard for me to write the titles of the books. I'm probably going to have to write them like diagonally or whatever, but it's fine. It's just the books that I'm not finishing is not going to go on my reading log. So I want to keep them somewhere. And if I put them down and may go back to them, I don't think I'm going to put it on here. I haven't decided yet. And the reason why I said I haven't decided yet is because there's a lot of tombstones here. And I think I've DNF'd maybe 10 books the past 3 years. So, yeah, I'm not a big DNFer. So I have to think on that. But yeah, this is it. This is like little stickers. These are like the washi stickers that I got from the Halloween box from Archer and Olive. So I wanted to add something here. I probably could have added washi, but it's fine. And now we come to my books reviews page. So again, this is from the Live Love Posh book. And then the alphabets are from Live Love Posh's seasonal love sticker book. I thought they went really well with the stickers. So you can see I started drawing, y'all, because I am not an artist. You're probably like, yeah, you didn't need to say that. I can tell. So there are 2 books that I have been really inspired to create spreads for. One of them is Daggermouth. It's just fun aesthetically. I just have ideas. I have ideas for what I could do. That was my 5-star read this year. It was the first book that I read, and I think it's ruined any other chances of me giving a 5-star. We'll see. you know, you always want to start out strong when you read, but man, it really sets a high bar. So if you've read Daggermouth, then you know there's like a kind of a theme of the skull has like a reoccurring theme throughout it, with like a tattoo and things like that. So I wanted to do a skull. They're probably not very hard to draw. I struggled, but I think this looks cute. I was trying to figure out how to do it at first. I was even thinking about doing like drawing a full-on skull and then maybe even cutting around it and doing like a four-page spread, but I'm like, I think we're okay. What I think I'm going to do here is what I was thinking about doing was maybe using some ink, like maybe gray or something. I think I have another gray too. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. I might see if I think I have some lighter gray somewhere. But I was thinking about like putting it like around the skull, obviously in some of the areas, but having it just kind of dark, giving like a dark aesthetic. So playing around with the ink and like some of the brushes that I have, just kind of like dusting it on type thing. Actually distressed ink might work better. So we'll have that. I have printed out some stickers. We'll get to that in a moment because the other spread I'm going to do is Arcana Academy. That was a really good book. That was almost a 5-star for me. So it's like they use tarot cards in the Academy. Like they draw tarot cards, and they use it for everything. For like good, for bad, for like they do duels by throwing tarot cards at each other and stuff. It was just really cool. So that kind of inspired me. So I have some tarot. I also have some stamps that I might pull to do some stuff like that. So we'll see how far this goes. I don't think I had this on my best printer setting because I can see some lines there. I'm starting to run out of black ink though too. So yeah, this is from Daggermouth. This is from Daggermouth, that is, but everything else is Arcana Academy because I was going to do the skull. And then I kind of like started thinking I need room to write too. I'm also probably going to bring in some washi. I do have this washi, which this is Cora Korea Crafts. I thought I could use too. It has the skull on here. It also has the moth and stuff on here, which doesn't have anything to do with this. But I still think it could be kind of cool. So we might do that, or we might just do black and white washi. I don't know, but I definitely want to like play around with this and kind of see what I could do here. So first things first, I think I will do the ink. All right, so I did want to include part of a setup of these book review spreads so you can kind of get a visual of the reason why I wanted to create a separate journal. Obviously, I do think it's a good idea to have a place where I'm doing a continuous log of all the books I read from year to year, so I don't have to keep digging through my journals to find that information. But in my reading journals, I just don't have room to do these kind of spreads. I don't even have room to do a 1-page spread, let alone a double-page spread. So that is the reason why I want to do this. It's really fun to be creative, and sometimes these books really inspire you to do something creative. So that is the reason why I'm doing this. And even looking ahead to like next year, which I know we're still in the first quarter, but looking ahead to 2027, this actually opens things up where maybe I need less pages for my book reviews in my future journals because I'll be using this to supplement those books that I want to write more about. So maybe I can create even like bigger spreads for my annual pages. So I can do maybe double page spreads for some of the challenges that this year I kept it to 1 page. So that is also a benefit. Really quick, Daggermouth, if you are not aware, it is all over the place. It is like being hyped everywhere. I actually read it before I was aware of the hype because I read this on January the 1st, and I read it because it fulfilled the buzzword cover challenge. I had to read something about like a body part inside an internal body organ, or an internal organ. So it has an anatomical heart on the cover. So that's the reason why I read it. And y'all, I love this book. Obviously, I gave it 5 stars. So the tagline for this book is, "He is her ruin, she is his rebellion." I mean, do you need to know anything else? So it is a dystopian book, and it does follow kind of, I don't want to say rules, but it does kind of follow the same concept of all of your other dystopian novels. Most of them, you have those that are privileged, and then you have those that are in poverty, or they're being oppressed, and they're usually being oppressed by those in power. And that is what is going on here. Instead of like factions like you have in Divergent, there are rings. So there's different rings in society. And you will see me put a sticker of a heart on here. So those, the elite or those that are privileged, they are in the heart, the center of the city, the heart of the city. So your female main character, she is part of the rebellion. She is also an assassin. The male main character, he is in the heart. He is also the son of the president of the heart. And he's the executioner. Means he is the one that has to execute those who do wrong. So very interesting dynamic there. I don't really think I need to say anything else. It is definitely a open your eyes kind of novel or book. Very interesting. I will say read the trigger warnings, but it's really good and it's very, very impactful. And the one thing I really liked about this novel in particular was like the character building. It just made you feel for the characters, made you understand the characters, and made you wanting, like left you wanting to know more about the characters. There was some plot building, but it didn't actually go into too much detail that kind of overwhelmed the story, which I do find happens a lot of time with fantasy novels in particular, but that did not happen here. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. Because like I said, I definitely just kind of wanted to give you a rundown of what that book was about, just in case it intrigued you and you had not heard about it. So I do want to say, even though I'm starting a second spread here, you will see me go back and forth because I do need to use some stamps on that first spread. So I will be jumping back and forth while I'm actually setting it up. But we're going to talk a little bit about Arcana Academy. This was my most recent read as of the filming of this video and the putting together of this journal. This book, the reason why I needed to create a spread about this is I was shocked by how much I enjoyed it, which I shouldn't have been because it has more than 4 stars on both Amazon and Goodreads, I believe. So people really do like it. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the title or what, I just wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And the only reason why I read this book was because one of the prompts that I have to do for the month of March was a drink on the cover, and this one has a cup. So I was like, oh, drinks go in cups. We're just going to do that. So that's the reason why I read it, and I'm super glad I did. There we go. 2 prompts, 2 winners. I love reading challenges. So your female main character, she, the book starts off where she is in prison. She was sentenced to life for inking tarot cards. So that's something that you cannot do. The only people that can ink tarot cards are those that were like elite members of Arcana Academy. That's it. And she wasn't. So that's the reason why she is imprisoned. Spoiler alert, although it really isn't because it's like included in the synopsis. She ends up going to Arcana Academy. There is a, do we want to say hidden identity, fake, it's not really fake marriage, but fake dating, fake engagement thing going on here that brings in also the romanticy or the romance part of the romanticy element. What I do like is that is secondary to me, or at least I found it to be secondary to the plot, which was refreshing because a lot of romanticies, they focus too much on the romance and the plot gets lost. But this wasn't like that, and part of it was because it was a really good slow burn, which kind of helps with that. But yeah, the magic system was really cool and really interesting with the use of the tarot cards and the tarot magic. Like I said, they like have tarot cards. There's magic in them. So if you have a 2 of swords and you like use it, then swords will come out. And yeah, it's just really, really fascinating. But because of that, it does hold up the plot at times because the author has to explain what the person's doing, like pulling out this card, using this card, and then has to go into what the card is doing. So it adds, you know, extra words to actually explain what's going on, which sometimes can kind of, I don't know, can kind of mess up the flow a little bit. Plus, at times it still got confusing, even with all the explaining. I was like, what? I got to reread it. So it definitely wasn't a 5-star because of that. But I love the slow burn. I really like the female main character. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't like naive or anything of that nature. I like the male main character. And I will say, I'm still like, he's still a big question mark, which was kind of surprising. Sometimes I feel like they give too much away in the story and we can kind of figure out whether they're a question mark or not, meaning are they good or bad? I still don't know. I think I know, but I still don't know. And I really appreciate that in this book. The book also leaves on a pretty, I don't want to say a cliffhanger. Well, I guess it is a cliffhanger, which really just makes you want to read more. And can't wait until the next book came out, which I think this one's going to be a trilogy. So yeah, that is my very, very, very brief synopsis of both of the books. I am not really good with synopsis. I just figured, you know, there's so many online now that why should I try to give one, you know? But yeah, for this page that I'm doing now, I didn't have enough stickers. I know I had a gazillion tarot cards, but I wanted more than just the tarot cards. So I used these cute little tarot stamps that I got from Temu. I don't even know why I purchased them, but I have like 2 identical sets too. So that's strange in itself. But I just went ahead and went around the perimeter of the page with the stamps to kind of add a little bit more gold. I also did not like how the first ink that I used on this page looked. So now I'm going over it with the other ink that I like a little bit better. And I will also cover up that star rating with a piece of sticker paper and re-stamp that so that way it looks better. It matches the rest of it. I know that's the perfectionism coming out on me. So now that I've chatted so long, I think we're actually almost done. I was going to say I'll turn on some music, but I actually don't think I need to. So at this point, I think I can just turn it back over so we can kind of do a final wrap up. What do you say? All right, guys, there we go. So I did add stamps around the perimeter. I really like that. I think that added a lot. If I need the space, I can easily write over the stamps. I have stamped entire backgrounds before. I've used stencils on the background, and that's what I've done. It probably wouldn't have been a bad thing just to stamp everything, but it's fine. It was taking me long enough. I really like this, and you know, there we go. Tracy's first hand-drawn image in her journal. I don't draw very often, so give me a break, guys. But I know I need a lot of writing space here because I have a lot of thoughts. I read this book at the very beginning of the year, and I still have thoughts. So that is the reason why I did leave a lot of space here. And yes, I know the title's here and I wrote it again, but I felt like I need to. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. How many book reviews there will be at the end of the year, no one knows. I'm thinking it might be like 1 or 2 a month. We'll see. So I'm thinking maybe 10 or so a year. I don't think I'm going to be filming a lot of videos doing the actual like putting this together, but I do plan on doing like a mid-year and an end of the year flip through of this book, my series tracker, as well as obviously my reading journal, my 2026 reading journal. So you will be seeing this still on my channel. It just won't be like in the journal with me format. I'll just be in the flip through format. All right, guys, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it gave you an idea or two. So yes, I create a lot of supplemental journals. I have journals for, you know, one purpose and one purpose only. You don't need to do that. If you have one journal laying around, you can use that to just journal whatever you feel. You can do a book review spread, and then the very next page, you can do your daily journaling. I just choose to do this because I have enough journals laying around. So I figure let's just dedicate specific purposes for each of them. It's an excuse to buy all the pretty journals that I see. Yes, it is. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.